right, guys, whenever you're ready.
To start, how was the trip?
It was good. It was good. It was a good road trip. We got challenged in some different matches and two pretty good wrestling environments. So I think overall it was a really good weekend.
Talking to Mike Boyden whenever he first became a head coach, he was like, "Oh yeah, I have to call timeouts. That stuff's on me." Is there anything you learned about being a wrestling coach, just being a part of your first two duels?
Yeah, I think it's just. I think just that first match, UVU. I think it's just you're just trying to figure out as much as you're trying. The guys are trying to figure out their flow. We're trying to figure out our flow. There's a lot of preparation that goes into those things, but there's still just the ability of like going and being in a competition, just like all that stuff. So I think from that match, even reflecting to the Oregon State match, I thought things felt a lot smoother and more normal. Not that it felt not normal again in UVU, just maybe a little clunky in some things, but I think Oregon State was a really good, just better flow.
There's no doubt. I've been following Oklahoma State wrestling a long time. I can't remember an opening weekend where that many points were scored, team points. But I thought maybe the most impressive thing was in a lot of those matches, even those tech falls, the other team either scored first or made the first move to score points. And it started in a defensive flow for the Cowboy wrestler, but he cranked in the offense.
I don't remember it necessarily being like that, but
Yeah.
I think our guys did a good job of just talking about wrestling for 7 minutes. We encourage them to make mistakes. So I don't know whether you made a mistake and got taken down, or you get in a scramble or get in a flurry. We want to be well rounded. Whether we're on guys' legs, we're scoring. If they're on our legs, we're scoring. You got to think Utah Valley. They've had matches. Oregon State, they've had matches. For most of our team, that was our first match since March. And building into it. So there's a lot of obviously excitement around the program. So I think that those guys obviously going out and getting started. And Utah Valley was a good wrestling environment. There was 5,000 people there. They got a chance to get excited about something. They got really excited. So there's a lot of things that go into wrestling. I think sometimes people just think it's just as easy as going out and scoring points and stuff. But it can be that easy. But obviously they're obviously still kids. They got other things on their mind. So overall, I think really was really happy with the way they wrestled.
What are you looking forward to with your first duel in this building?
A lot of people here. I think that's probably something that's really exciting. But yeah, we're excited to go out and just wrestle. I think excited to get the season, our home season started here. Really excited to wrestle in Gallagher and the history and the tradition that goes with this program and this arena. We have some cool things that we're doing and for the guys and just the walkouts and I think things that are exciting. It's not just a dual meet. You're participating in a show, in an event. But it still comes to wrestling. You got to go out and score more points than your opponent, and that's what we're kind of focused on.
Do you think there'll be any emotions for you, just the first meet in front of the home crowd, being introduced, all the history? Do you think that'll hit you, or?
Just appreciate it. Obviously, being grateful for it, but just just hoping really just focus on the guys getting ready to go.
David, what did you see out of Luke over the weekend, especially on Sunday?
It was good. Luke wrestled well. I think he wrestled confident and wrestled, definitely just good matches. So just excited for him getting the season started off. Obviously with the pin and he can score in a lot of ways. Like he's a good scrambler and he's really good on top. And those both that played a factor in both of his matches this weekend. So just continue to work in those areas and but I think those can be definitely good factors for him as we move forward.
Injuries were, set him back a lot last year and kind of affected the flow of this season. Really couldn't get anything going late because of it. Just to see him have that early success, and especially against someone like Munoz. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I think when you're coming off injury, there's just things that you got on your mind. But Luke's in great shape. This summer when we were getting started, he wasn't on the mat, but we, was giving him workouts, and he was crushing those workouts. And I was like, man, if you're doing that now, imagine what it's going to be like when you are back on the mat. So when he got back wrestling, it was no getting in shape. He was already in great shape. It's just getting back on the mat. So he's definitely a student and has been working really hard. So it's just good to see him, go out and have some good matches this weekend.
What did you see out of 33?
It's good. I mean, I think Reese looked really good. Utah Valley, and I thought Kale looked really good against Oregon State. So, you know, we'll see where it looks like moving forward. But in terms of the first weekend, obviously they both did a good job.
Do you feel like that could be a kind of an ongoing battle there to see who's in the lineup from week to week?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, one guy separating themselves from the other guy, but not sure that this weekend that was something that happened, but they both looked good. They both did what they wanted to go out and do. So, we'll kind of see, what that looks like, obviously, moving forward.
The news nationally at heavyweight, and that's way down the line when you talk about the national tournament. Wyatt realizes there's another competitor at the top of the ladder there. You've been around heavyweights like him a lot. How much can you do for Wyatt to make him an even better wrestler than he is right now?
I mean, that's the national tournament. I mean, there's a lot of really good people at every single weight class, So I think the nice thing about the nationals, at the end of the day, if you're a national champion, you're the best guy in the weight, but you got to figure out a way to navigate that. So I think with Wyatt, what's really cool about him is his energy level and how he competes is pretty remarkable for a heavyweight. At any weight class, his output is really high, And I think just for him learning how to when to rev that up and then sometimes when to rev that down a little bit. This week he's got two guys that he feels like he's going to go out and throw them down. He does that. At some point going to wrestle some better guys and just learning how to dictate that pace. But it's the same thing. I think just being in the Air Force and the other obligations and things that came with that, wrestling was kind of secondary. Where now he can really focus on wrestling, his training, his recovery, his nutrition. So I mean, he's in great shape. And this weekend was a great test for him to kind of push his conditioning. And I'd say moving forward, just he's got to keep getting better at wrestling. Keep challenging him and showing him some things that he's going to see down the road, and he'll just continue to make some adjustments.
When you talk about a home duel being a show, and obviously, like you said, the wrestling is the most important thing. But is that something from your background that you wanted to kind of expand on what the event and the atmosphere is like here at Gallagher?
Yeah. I mean, I just think that's something that wrestling, in wrestling at the highest level for a long time, I think sometimes that's just missed. I think there's an element of looking forward to go out and competing, and sometimes that whistle just blows so fast the match is over and you're just on to the next thing. I think, also for our team, but also for people. We talk about wanting to get people in the stands and having a product that people want to watch and follow. And I think just ways that we can be creative to make it a really fun environment for our team, but also for people that are coming to watch them.
A lot of times it takes a little adversity to take a step forward. Cam kind of had a little bit of that right out of the gate, but I thought what do you think of his comeback at Oregon State and the way he wrestled?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough match. His first match since March, and obviously a really tough competitor, and Terrell's a tough guy.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird match again, he got the only takedown in the match and, really didn't give up any offensive points. Came down to riding time and some kind of things towards the end that didn't go his way, but that's just wrestling and that's how it rolls. And, he bounced right back, as we would expect him to do, and looked really good. And it was cool to see him go out and get a takedown and then push him for the major at the end. It's something that we saw from a lot of our guys this weekend, and he got the takedown, got the major, and just good for him.
I'm sure there's a, and I'm sure it varies wrestler to wrestler, but is there one or two big things that you, especially this part of the season early on, that you're kind of looking for out of the guys?
Yeah, I mean, just going out and wrestling, looking to score points. I think when you're doing that, you're a little bit more relaxed, and it's good for them, each one of those guys, and it's good for our team.
Marshall asked early on about, did you learn anything about yourself as a coach in the first weekend? Were you just ever sitting there and you thought, I can't spectate here. I got a role in this. I mean, because it is the first time you've been supervising.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you got the best seat in the house. You get to watch the guys go out and wrestle. I think that's pretty cool. These guys it's a fun team to go out and watch wrestle. And just, seeing areas where you can make an impact and some areas where they're going to just, do what they do, and I think ultimately as a coach, you just want to help them be just best versions of themselves, and I think that's the biggest thing. You're learning their routines, and that will help as we move forward.
Are you able to talk about guys that signed?
Yeah, you can talk.
You can talk about signs.
The
Okay,
10
so
signees that we posted about, yeah.
With D. Lockett, Teague, and Guerrero, just what do you like out of those guys?
Yeah, I mean they're local boys, and I think there'll be great additions to our program, and excited for our entire class we have coming in. I think when we look back in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, this will be our first recruiting class, and excited for them obviously to continue their high school careers, and then when they get here, continue to help them move forward.
From your first time out, just being in a role where you're recruiting guys, did you learn stuff as you went through that process, or did your pitch kind of day one kind of stay the same throughout?
Yeah, I mean, I think it changes and evolves. As you get here, the longer you're here, you start to learn more things about our program, and as you spend more time, like the guys are, even our team, things just changed and evolved. Obviously, as from the day we got here towards the end of that class, but Oklahoma State's a desired destination, and we're just trying to make it a place that people want to wrestle, which they do, and but a lot of guys want to watch our team wrestle. I think that's probably the biggest thing about our program is we are new to this, but I think this weekend was a good start. And just got to keep helping our guys wrestle best they can.
125 was kind of a crazy weight throughout the nation last year. Just kind of what did you make of Troy's opening week? Probably closer matches than expected, but found a way to win.
Yeah, I mean, 125 is just a tough weight class. There's a lot of really tough guys in that weight class, and Troy did a good job, and both were just strange matches. Giving up those penalty points and stuff made it a little harder than what it probably needed to be. But I mean, it's just good to face adversity like that and find a way. And that's what he was able to do. So. It was good. I mean, those are tough matches, and your wrestling matches are your best indicator. They're the best, and also it's the best thing that we can do right now is getting tough matches. So it was good to see those from him.
Is the locked hands thing a concern, or is that just sort of something that was a bit of a fluke that happened?
Yeah, I mean, the Oregon State kid was just a scrambler guy, and they got in a scramble, and it's just sometimes that stuff happens, But no, none of that stuff is any concern.
What are your thoughts on? He's got 2 big ones this weekend.
Yeah,
Number
just
1, 2 guys.
again, like it's just he's going to be excited and ready to go, and just got to go out and score more points than the other guy, And it's just he's just I think the momentum of wrestling those matches, carrying into this week, we can make some adjustments, and he'll be ready to go.
Is going to start at 125. The duels.
I like starting at 125. It'd be my choice. We would continue to start at 125. Sometimes people want to draw and stuff like that, but I like the flow of starting 125, starting with Troy and ending with Wyatt. I think that's a really good format for us.
Utah Valley, they wanted to draw?
Yeah, I think that one's a little unique. Just probably made a little bit more sense. To finish that weight class, but yeah, they did.
Okay.
All good?
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
David.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, David.
Cool.